scored a touchdown, then got scored upon. It was actually just a great play by Tevin Gray.
Yeah, he has been all over the place. And I think the most impressive things for Lake Stevens is their star player,
Andrew.
How do you say his name?
Andrew Elgin.
Andrew Elgin. Sorry about that.
Elgin,
Scott.
He is a monster. We're back now live. And Becerra goes over, and it's caught around the 21-yard line. And that's Josh May.
Becerra is looking good. He's his ball's right on the mark.
Becerra now 5 for 6 for about 51 yards. First down and 10 on the 22, then threatening again, almost just outside the red zone. Becerra now hands it off to Quentin Dunbar, takes on the left side, has a little room, gets down to the 15.
Great. It's about a pickup of about 9 yards for Quentin Dunbar. Hard to bring down the big kid.
Dunbar now just tonight averaging 8.5 yards as he's finally brought down.
And you'll notice that they're having a lot more success when they're getting around the outside there as opposed to going up the middle.
2nd and 2 now, knocking on the door. 11:15 in the second quarter, up 14-10. Becerra now. Back to pass, looking to his right, goes over, it's caught! Josh May, touchdown, Glacier Peak!
And he just kind of grabbed that. It looked like it was going to go over his fingertips, and he's got some Lester Hayes Stickum on his gloves.
May jacked up as Austin Otis couldn't quite catch up with him. Another bullet by Becerra.
I see a flag on the play, though. It could be a pine tar incident on Josh May's gloves.
See the official... Number 24, Josh May.
Rowe doesn't like it. He's coming out to plead his case. I don't know. Yeah.
They're going to call that incomplete, it looks like. Josh May takes his helmet off.
Well, I don't think they're going to call it incomplete. I think they're going to call some type of penalty. Yeah.
Illegal man downfield. It's going to be 2nd down again. The replay 2nd down.
Costly penalty right there. You hate to see points come right off the board.
Beautiful play by Becerra to Josh May.
That was a great catch by Josh May. It wasn't an easy pass to catch.
Rowe walks back, seems to be satisfied. Trey Chambers now in the ball game, the second receiver on the inside. Baruch on the near side.
Looks like it was a 5-yard penalty. It should be about 2nd and 7.
Now they wind the clock, and Becerra looks over to the coaching staff for the signal. Dunbar hands it off to Dunbar. He's got some room going on the inside. Changes hands. Elgin tries to catch up with him. Nice gain by Quentin Dunbar.
And picks up the first down with that effort, too.
Gets down inside the 10. See where they're going to mark it at the 9.
And again, Scott, they're having that success with getting around that defensive end. Quentin Dunbar showing a little bit of speed there.
Elgin up with him finally, but...
And Quentin Dunbar doesn't make that play last year, and he makes it this year.
1st and goal now, Becerra. He's got Elledge on the near side. Looking left, though. He wants to go to Baruch. He does. He catches it. He's still standing. Almost. They're going to say he's down at about the half-yard line. Marcus Baruch.
And he almost got in with like a 3rd and 4th effort.
Drug a couple kids, including Tanner Krentz, with him.
Well, he really showed some athletic ability there. Gets it down to about the half-yard line.
Austin Hines and Trey Chambers come off now. We've got Elledge, the split wide out to the near side of your screen. Becerra now. 2nd and goal. Becerra hands it off to Palmer, but he is crushed by number 47, C.J. Latt.
Interesting call. They're not having much success with that, running it up the middle. I was looking for something to go to the outside.
As the Viking crowd gets
he loses
excited.
About 1 or 2 on that. Loses 2 yards on the play.
Set up 3rd and goal now. 9:51 left in the first half. Becerra and crew looking over again. Elledge and May on the near side with Baruch on the far side of the field. Dunbar now in motion to the right's got some pressure, goes over, almost intercepted by Tanner Krenz.
He actually swatted that ball down instead of picking it off. Maybe he thought it was 4th down. He could have easily had an interception on that.
Looked like might have been a little miscommunication on that.
And we're going for the field goal here, Scott.
4th and goal.
You don't see that all the time with Rowe. Normally you're going to see him go for that, but tight ball game. You know, Lake Stevens is no pushover. You play a little bit conservative.
The Vikings, a 4A team, 1 game away from making it to the state championship last year, is Corwin Branson with Austin Hines to hold.
Get it.
Bad hold. Not sure if it was blocked, but it is no good.
It didn't look like it was blocked. It looked like he just squibbed it.
Andrew Elgin was in there and might have tipped it.
Well, Rowe's out there having a word with a couple of the people.
Not sure who the long snapper is.
We can go back.
Austin Hines. Hold, not sure. 1 game away from making it to the state.
You play a little bit conservative.
The Vikings, you're still watching it. Now you're back to live. O'Neal hands it off, but he is pummeled in the backfield by Quentin Dunbar and friends.
Looks like 55.
Bussing also there.
Bussing was getting in the mix too.
Gonna actually lose 1.5 yards.
I think Rowe right now is steaming in the back of his mind. He wanted to get some points on that last drive.
17, Connor Coleman in the far side. Goes over to
Yeah, so it's going to be a holding,
Gray.
Scott. It's coming back. I think the wide receiver was holding there. I saw it from here, and the ref threw it too. So I believe that's coming back.
It was 2nd and 12 now, as the game is just suddenly kind of slowed down a little bit. Glacier Peak up 14-10. They missed an field goal attempt.
Short field goal. There's the call right here. Holding against Lake Stevens, so that's going to back them up another 10.
Again, this will be the longest drive for Lake Stevens. They've had really good field position up to this point.
Both teams have been starting with some really short fields tonight.
8:48 left to go in this first half of opening night here for the 2012 high school 3A South Wesco season, as O'Neal back to pass. Dunbar on the chase, has to get rid of it. Baruch almost intercepts it. Turns around at the last minute. It was intended for Connor Cole. Has to get rid of it. Baruch.
Makeup call there.
Baruch talking to Trey Chambers now about it.
3rd and 19, Scott. It's tough to go 3rd and 19 from that deep in your territory.
I think you see.
Typically, they do a 7 or 8 a play that's designed for 7 or 8 yards, and hope they can get some.
O'Neal now hands it to the up back, kind of a counter, but nice play on defense by Bussing again.
So they're going to be punting from pretty close to their end zone. I think you're going to see Glacier Peak send a couple people here.
Well, we got a tip-off on a defensive scheme that defensive coordinator Steve Hannon was telling us, and we haven't seen it yet. Tevin Gray back to punt. Decent punt. Fair catch is right inside the 50 at the 49, and that's where they'll start with 7:56 left to go in the first half. Glacier Peak up 14-10 on opening night.
Well, it's still a short field, Scott. They're still, they're probably averaging starting from the 40-yard line or something. So, short fields all around.
Hope you've enjoyed our broadcast here. Added some great features this year. You got a scoreboard, got instant replay.
We got staff running around all over the place.
Our executive producer, Todd Elvig. our statistician, John McLean. Our guest spotter tonight, Mike McQuaid, coming up from Seattle as Becerra takes the snap. Over the middle, it's caught by Josh May for a first down.
Right at the marker, Scott. They're going to give him a home field spot, hopefully.
Blake Sanders on the tackle for Lake Stevens. Moving the chains brings them up to the 38 of Lake Stevens. 1st and 10, 7:50 left in the first half.
And was Josh Mays having a big night tonight? I have to look at what his stats are right now, but big night for the kid.
Becerra now going deep on the right side. He's got Elledge. Elledge catches it at the 9. And it's tackled by Connor Coleman, and they'll mark him at the 6. The wrestler.
And he's having a big night with just a couple things thrown to him, and he's quietly having a big night.
You knew he was going to go up and get that ball.
Yeah. And if that was thrown a little bit better, that would have been 6 points. But it kind of hung up there a little bit. He had to slow down and come back for it, but he did it.
So here we go once again. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line as Becerra now hands it off to Palmer. To the right side, plenty of room. Touchdown, Glacier Peak.
Palmer's having himself a big night. We kind of thought Palmer was going to have a big night. He came on strong last year, at the end of last year. We kind of expected this out of the kid.
20-10, and Corwin will come on for the extra point. Michael Palmer having a huge game. Josh May having a great game.
Set up by Sean Elledge on that long pass.
Connor Coleman trying to reach Palmer on that, but to no avail. Austin Hines down for the hold. Hopefully he can get a better kick right here. Carson Call, the snapper. It's up, and it is good with authority.
That could have been good from another 30 yards back. Did Corwin kick that, Scott?
Yes, he did. So with 7:24 left in the first half, it's GP 21 and Lake Stevens 10.
Step inside Mongo's at Clearview for an experience you have to taste to believe. Customers come to Mongo's for the friendly service, down-to-earth atmosphere, and of course, the menu. We use only the freshest ingredients to prepare every dish, and everything we make starts from scratch each morning, like our delicious freshly caught salmon and our mouth-watering burgers. Perfect for ordering to go or dining in. What you don't see is how much energy our chefs put into every meal, but we think the results speak for themselves. Just see what our customers are saying. They dream of our fish tacos. They love our fabulous chef, and whether it's lunch or dinner, they can't get enough. We love what we do, and we think you'll agree once you take that first bite. When you come hungry, we want you to leave happy. Mongo's at Clearview. Stop in anytime.
And Josh May. Where do we have Josh May?
Don't have anything right now for Josh May. We'll look that up. Our statistician, John McLean, will work on that as...
There we go.
Evening sets in.
Oh, Palmer's that we got him for 73 yards now.
I thought that needed to be up to 11 carries, 73 yards, still averaging 6.5, 1 TD. Sean Elledge, 2 catches, 36 yards, and 1 touchdown. A huge reception there in that last series.
We need to see what we can find Josh May's receiving stats here.
Baruch having a big game, 2 catches for 30 yards. Here's the kickoff.
Kicked it deep. Oh, and they're
sharing the ball in the back. It's gets it up, but he's crushed at the 21-yard line, and that's where the Vikings will start.
He got a big hit out of somebody.
Tanner Krenz with the ball.
And it looks like Timmy Douglas is back for a play. Look at little number 10 there. Isn't that what Timmy was wearing?
Jared
I thought he graduated last year.
Yeah, the Rudy.
Rudy's back.
That is Kyanell Wong wearing number 10. Had to give up number 9. He does look a little bit like...
Looks a little like Timmy Douglas.
Never forget Timmy Douglas interception at Bellevue. As O'Neill's back to pass. Going for Krenz, incomplete. Trey Chambers on the coverage, bring up 2nd and 10.
What's happening, he's having to hurry up those throws. When you got somebody coming at you, your accuracy goes way down fast.
So 2nd and 10 on their own 21. 7:13 left to go in the first half. All Glacier Peak here, 21-10 on this opening night. Gavin O'Neill, the quarterback. First start for him. He goes way deep on the right side. Baruch is there, but he doesn't make the catch. As Connor, the intended receiver.
He almost had that. He turned around right at the right time. The coverage was there.
Make the catch. As the quarterback. First start for him. He goes way deep on the right side. Baruch is there, but he doesn't make the catch. As Connor, the ball. 3rd and 10 for the Vikings, still at their own 21. Gavin now, back to pass, rolls right, fires, it's complete for a Vikings first down at the 35-yard line.
And that's Connor Coleman, I believe, number
Coleman
17.
With the reception, Marcus Baruch on the tackle.
Well, Scott, Baruch and Coleman are battling just neck and neck. They're probably going to go fisticuffs at halftime.
As nightfall kind of comes into the picture as the lights go on. O'Neill now, 1st and 10 on his own 35. 6:48 left to go in the first half. O'Neill back to pass, swings it out to Gray, off his fingertips, incomplete, and that'll bring up
a little bit overthrown. He was wide open, kind of. That's what happens when you have a brand new quarterback.
Well, Trey Chambers is right on it.
Yep, that doesn't help either.
Might have hurt his footsteps a little bit.
Trey Chambers probably had the play of the game today with that deflection.
Unbelievable play. 2nd and 10 now for the Vikings. On their own 35. Sadowski now number 11 in the ball game for the Vikings. They hand it off to 23, Krenz.
Not much doing. Kiana, was that Wong, number 10?
It is number 10, kind of Noah Wong with a tackle.
You know, he's really stepped it up this year. You know, it kind of had struggled a little bit last year, and he's really coming on strong tonight.
The junior, 5'6", 150, definitely one of the smaller players out on the field.
He does kind of look like Rudy or
Timmy
Douglas out there.
He had a lot of playing time last year, and that should pay off this year. 3rd and 9 now, 6:04 left in the first half. Ball at their own 36. O'Neill gets it, tries to get it to Coleman, incomplete.
And Michael Palmer was all over him.
I believe that was Josh May there who kind of came in and broke it up, or is that Palmer?
Palmer was in on the rush.
2-4. That's Josh May there. Love the instant replay. Back to punt now is Tevin Gray.
It's kind of a squibber.
It hits the 50-yard line,
it's bounces. It's going to come back. It's going to take a Glacier Peak bounce, and they're going to have it inside the 50 again.
They start again as Josh Pinka, number 22, who's another junior. We haven't seen much. We might see him before the evening is done.
Well, Scott, Glacier Peak's got 21 points on the board. However, they've been gifted a little bit by starting at, like, you know, Lake Stevens probably averaging their Lake Stevens 45-yard line.
So they'll get it again. 5:42 left in the half. 1st and 10 on the Vikings 49-yard line as Becerra is in the shotgun. Hands it off to Palmer. Palmer, second effort, pushes the pile a little bit, tries to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Struggling going up the middle still.
And big Brandon Johnson for Lake Stevens, 6'3", 280 pounds, and he stood him up.
Well, Lake Stevens is doing a good job on that front line, pushing him around.
Brings up 2nd and 9, 5:13 left to go in the first half. Becerra now as he pauses and they all look over to the coach for the signal. Becerra now, 11 for 15, looks over. Did that tip Trey Chambers?
It might have got tipped somewhere.
Intended for receiver was Chambers, but again, Andrew Elgin right there. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. Just under 5 minutes left to go.
What Coach Rowe would like, like to get at least 5 out of this because he'll go for it on 4th down if it's, manageable. He won't even think about it.
Carson Call now looking out. We have Trey Chambers, Quentin Dunbar, and Sean Elledge as the receivers. Palmer in the backfield in motion. Becerra back to pass, lays it up, and it's almost caught by big number 15, Nick Allen, just over the outstretched fingertips.
A little bit overthrown.
Austin Otis, he was on the coverage, but there was no way he was catching up to Big Allen.
That would have been 6 points all easily. It looks like they're punting.
Nick Allen, 6'5", 177-pound junior. As Spencer Pettit, the sophomore, is on to punt for Glacier Peak.
But are they really punting? With Glacier Peak, you never know. I mean, it's like 50. Flip a coin.
He's back. The punt, end over end, not bad. It's taken up the field right at the 25-yard.
I didn't even see the fair catch called
by Tanner Krentz. They'll mark it now at the 24, and that's where they'll start.
There's actually...
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
Now we're back live. .445 left, Tim. 21-10. Glacier Peak looking very strong. Didn't get that series. Connor Coleman now as O'Neal back to pass. Goes deep again to Coleman.
Uh-oh.
Is there a flag? That's incomplete.
I'm surprised there wasn't a flag on that. But
the Vikings fans here at the stadium wanted it, and so did Connor Coleman, but unfortunately they're still 2nd and 10 from their own 24. O'Neal now back to pass again. He finds an open Viking at the 30, still on his feet. Carson Call there.
A lot of 2nd and 3rd effort there on the receiver.
I think that was number 48, Ryan Simona, for the Vikings. So leaves him at 3rd and 2, Tim Boyle. Clock ticking down, just under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Now O'Neal pauses.
Big play here for Lake Stevens. They need to get this. They need to get some points on the board.
O'Neal swings it over to Gray. Gray's got some room. Josh May with a nice grab tackle on the ankles there.
And Josh may have saved a touchdown on that play.
Connor Coleman, great job blocking in front. Did you see that? He pushed him off.
That was a great block and a great tackle, though, by Josh May.
But is enough for a Vikings first down now, still inside their own territory at the 44. O'Neal back to pass again. Carson Call almost gets him. He's almost wrapped up now. He scrambles and gets about 4 yards up to the 49. Nice fancy footwork by Gavin O'Neal.
Kind of looked like Fran Tarkington. Wait, I'm dating myself there.
You are. That's the days of the frozen tundra.
I better say Steve Young. Maybe people remember him.
But Palmer almost had him as well.
Yeah, he missed a few tackles.
2nd and 5 now on their 49-yard line. Just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. O'Neal now 3 for 12 for 63 yards in the air with 1 touchdown. O'Neal fakes it to Krenz. Now he goes over to Big 81, but he's hit hard in the backfield.
He lost about 3 yards on that.
Sean Elledge is there.
Well, you see they had probably about 6 or 7 guys coming at him. Breaks up the play. Big 3rd down coming up here. Lake Stevens needs to get some points on the board. They don't want to go into halftime down 21-10. On the road, 11-point deficit. You don't come back from too many of those.
3rd and 9 on their own 47, loss of a couple. Empty set for Gavin O'Neill. Back to pass. He's got pressure by May. Oh, he goes up for Krenz. And Trey Chambers, great coverage. It's incomplete.
And Michael Palmer almost had that deflected at the line of scrimmage. Palmer's everywhere tonight, too.
Defensive coordinator for GP, Steve Hannon, told us they want to bring the house on this brand new starter, Gavin O'Neill.
He says, don't be surprised if we bring every player on the field.
Tevin Gray back to punt for the Vikings. Gets it off, not really a rush. Hits the ground. Now GP gets away, and they'll down it at the 22-yard line. Just under 2 minutes to go.
Just under 2 minutes, and you guarantee Rowe's not going to play conservative here.
We'll be back right after these. You're listening to Glacier Peak Football on the Snohomish Times Sports Network. Yeah, we're back, but we're not back.
Okay.
Becerra now back to pass. Goes over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Trey Chambers. Overthrew him. 2nd and 10 on their 21-yard line. Great coverage by Tanner Krenz.
Trey Chambers, I expect to see him get his number called a little bit more here in the second half, as the second half comes. Steve Hannon told us earlier today that Trey Chambers is kind of like the quarterback of the defense back there, and he kind of proved it with that play earlier.
Trips now on the near side for Chris Becerra. 2nd and 10, 1:53 left in the first half. Becerra back to pass, go deep. He's got Quentin Dunbar at the 50. Lots of turf in front of him.
It's Baruch.
Baruch to the house. Touchdown, Glacier. 50. Lots of turf in front of him.
It's Baruch.
Baruch to the Connor Coleman and Austin Otis on the coverage, but they couldn't catch up.
Now, hey, I think Baruch just made up for that defensive little flub there. 2 touchdowns tonight for Baruch.
I apologize to Mr. Baruch. Thought that was Quentin Dunbar, but then when the lights went on, it was go time for Marcos Baruch. We got to see his speed, Tim.
And he just, nobody could keep up with him. He does look a lot like Evan Nelson.
It was creepy almost in the spring game, and then also the blue-silver scrimmage to see number 5.
And the funny thing is the same thing's happening this year. Evan Nelson and Elledge were going back and forth. Now you got Baruch and Elledge going back and forth for touchdowns.
Hines with the hold. Branson with the extra point, and it's good. And with 1:40 left to go in the first half of the home opener, Glacier Peak 28, Lake Stevens 10.
Now Glacier Peak's going to be desperate to try to hold here. They'd love to go in with a 28-10 lead at halftime.
You're kind of seeing, again, we talked to Steve Hannon, we talked to Lake Stevens coach Tom Try. He felt good about his rookie quarterback Gavin O'Neill. He's getting a lot of pressure.
Well, he is. Glacier Peak's got some people this year that have really stepped up. And to be fair, Lake Stevens is starting off on the road with Glacier Peak. It's not, that's a tough way to start off your season.
Well, friends, if you're tired of all the usual places you eat, then check out Mongo's on Highway 9 in Clearview. Everyone here at STSBN are regulars and love their Mongo's. Famous Cowboy Cajun chicken sandwich, their mouth-watering truffle fries are one of the best fish tacos you will ever have. Click next to your screen right now to check it out for this week's specials. Mongo's Great Eats.
You know what else is? On Thursday, Scott, they got their French dip that you might want to try, too.
I love the French dip. Interesting formation now for Glacier Peak to kick it off, as it's going to be Corwin faking
Oh, a
and
little.
Pettis
He's got a call for a fair catch.
pops
on
it
that.
up to number 18, Jimmy Billings, a senior.
So the plan there, Scott, is they're trying to kick it high enough up where they can hopefully get a deflection, or they can get to the ball before the intended receiver.
A minute 39 left to go in the first half. 28-10 Glacier Peak. It's kind of almost going like they wanted, huh, Tim?
Yeah, it looks a lot like what you saw last year from Glacier Peak.
Here's O'Neal back. He's got pressure from Palmer, and now they're going to get him. Big Josh
Josh
Elvig!
Elvig! The junior 5-tool player.
Nice job by Palmer to tee that one up for the junior.
So
Josh Elvig with his first big sack of the year.
He's got a half sack on his resume right now.
And Glacier Peak is going to take a timeout.
Glacier Peak might be thinking we want to get the ball back. You're gonna have to buy him a cheeseburger for that, Todd.
Well, hope you caught us for the Mongo's pregame show, and stick around afterwards. We're going to have the Twisted Lime postgame show.
And furthermore, we're going to be at the Twisted Lime.
I was just about to tell you. But
sorry.
now, if you don't know about the Twisted Lime, now you have that great neighborhood pub to relax, have fun with friends, and not have to go to some big chain. Right, the Twisted Lime Pub has great drink specials, delicious food, your favorite game on. Of course, Glacier Peak will always be on Friday nights, and the music you love. Located close to home, Tim Boyle, in between Mill Creek, Snohomish, and South Everett. You're never too far to stop in and enjoy the great atmosphere, top-notch service, and your favorite drink. They know just how you like it, Mr. Boyle.
Well, I can walk home from there, too.
So come on by after the game, as Tim said. Tim and I will be there. The Twisted Lime Pub, your local neighborhood pub.
So that's right by, Scott, if people don't know, that's right by the veterinary hospital back there.
Sound storage right there.
Yeah, sound storage.
So Gavin O'Neal sitting at 2nd and 18 on his own 30. Hands it off to Krenz. Krenz up the middle, gets a nice gain. And Quentin Dunbar there on the tackle.
Well, right now, Lake Stevens coach is thinking, I really got to get some points on the board. Can't go in 28-10.
Another timeout is called on the field.
Now,
this one will go to Lake Stevens.
So if you're the coach right now, if you're Rowe, you're thinking 28-10 is great. If you're Lake Stevens, you're like, it's deadly to go in 28-10.
Minute 20 left to go in the first half. Lake Stevens sitting at 2nd and 18, 30-yard line. And I bet the defense is teeing it up.
The defense is chomping at the bit. They got the A-team in there right now.
You're looking now over, you can see the Lake Stevens sideline, as I believe that's the Glacier Peak band. Now, school hasn't started yet, Tim. Understand there might be some audio technical difficulties for you guys listening out there, as Gavin O'Neal is back to pass now. Plenty of time, finally gets a rusher. Now he's ad-libbing, and he's going to go down as Drew Liner, the Freightliner, with his good buddy Josh Elvig.
The two of them teamed up. They'll be talking about that all night, too.
Stops the clock in a minute 15, but that's going to push him back to the 28-yard line. Looks like a timeout again on the field. Glacier Peak will take a timeout with a minute 15 left in this first half. Boy, they're taking these last few minutes.
Well, Scott Rowe's thinking I want the ball back. That's all he's thinking about right now.
We will work on the audio technical issues. If you have any difficulties at home, you could always email Tim and I, tim@snohomishtimes.com or scott@snohomishtimes.com. Or editor@snohomishtimes.com.
Looking now as they come up to the line of scrimmage. 4th and 20, Scott.
4th and 20 for Lake Stevens. We'll try and see a lot of updates on our Facebook page at stspn.com. We'll get those here at halftime.
Uh-oh. That was almost blocked.
The punt did
They didn't
get
even
off.
leave anybody in the backfield, Scott.
The clock is going to tick down under a minute. Almost gets there. They're going to stop it at 1:04 left, and Glacier Peak will get it.
Now, this being that, right now, 90% of the coaches out there probably just run the clock out. We'll see if Rowe does that. My guess is he's going to try to score.
27-yard line of Lake Stevens is where Chris Becerra, who has had one heck of a night. We have him 12 for 19, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns. What a first half for Chris Becerra.
Yeah, he's any questions we had about him right now, I think we can erase.
Back to pass. He goes over Elledge, gets it around the 25. He jukes one guy and gets down to around the 28.
We got a flag in the backfield coming in late. Could be a late hit where that came out of.
Evan Mix for Vikings fans on the tackle. Evan, another big kid, 6'3", 235.
The backfield judge threw that flag about 40 yards, and it was kind of a spiral. Not exactly sure what he saw from way back there.
Give us an email, editor at Snohomish Times, or Scott at Snohomish Times, or Tim at Snohomish Times, if you're having any trouble seeing our game tonight or hearing our game tonight. Got a lot of new toys we're checking out tonight, Tim Boyle.
And it didn't quite catch up, but it was a penalty on Lake Stevens. I think it might have been a late hit. Yeah, because it looked like it went. Yeah, face mask. Yeah, it's personal foul, so it went up 15 yards.
Okay, 56 seconds left. 1st and 10. They're on the 44. Becerra back to pass. Goes over the middle looking for Elledge. Too high for even Elledge as Coleman's on there for the coverage. Incomplete.
Just he had the receiver just a little bit too high. And right now, Coach Rowe's going for the jugular here. He wants to put this game away going into halftime.
Only 48 seconds left to go in the first half, up 28-10. Becerra now looking for more. Back to pass, over the middle, off the hands of Dunbar. And there's another flag on the play as Andrew
Elgin. I think he might
Elgin
have got to him early. From what my angle looked like, he might have given a little extracurricular before the ball came.
Again, Andrew Elgin in there, and Brandon Johnson looked like it might be a cut block, or officials now talking to him.
Now they're pointing towards Glacier Peak, so that ball I think is going to come back a little bit.
Not sure we could see that.
Illegal man downfield, I think is what that is.
Ineligible downfield player for Glacier Peak. That'll push him back. 44 seconds left. Still second down.
I might have declined that.
Or is it first down?
No, it's going to be second.
Haven't flipped it on the field. Leslie McLean on camera, doing a great job on our camera.
Leslie McLean's a 5-tool player.
It is a McLean production here. 44 seconds. Becerra, 2nd and 15. Back to pass. Now he's getting crushed. And it is big number 76, Evan Mix, in there to get him.
And they gave him a little extracurricular activity there, Scott.
235.
Pushed him back about 20 yards and threw him down with authority.
Evan, 6'3", 235.
I think they may even gave him some rough comments while they were doing it.
Clock keeps on ticking down to 15 seconds. This might do it for the first half.
Say forget it.
Now there's a whistle. Official timeout on the field.
I'm not sure why they called an official timeout there. That's a little... A little puzzling there.
8 seconds left. 28-10 Glacier Peak, 2nd and 24. An official timeout. O'Neal for the Vikings, their first time quarterback starting in varsity. Having an okay game, but here's Chris Becerra with Michael Palmer in the backfield.
I'm not sure what the official timeout was. They're just going to let it run out. That's going to do it, Scott.
Well, that's going to do it for the first half. It's Glacier Peak 28, Lake Stevens 10. You're watching Glacier Peak football on the Snohomish Times Sports Network. We'll be back after halftime.